All right, let's get into this. Because now there's a real conversation happening around Draymond Green defending Russell Westbrook. Draymond is going directly at Skip Bayless, while also pushing back on the NBA fans who've spent years criticizing Westbrook, especially now that Russ has officially announced his retirement after an 18-season career. And I'm willing to bet a lot of you have already seen that retirement announcement making the rounds. But what makes Draymond's response interesting is that this isn't just about what happened after Westbrook walked away. It's about the way Russ was talked about and criticized throughout his entire career, and why Draymond believes some of that criticism went way too far.
Now that you decided to step away from everything on your own terms, what are you the most proud of?
Skip Bayless didn't waste any time. Almost as soon as the retirement news went public, he released a video criticizing Russell Westbrook, going so far as to say that Russ wouldn't even make Skip's personal Hall of Fame. And that was only part of what Skip had to say. There was plenty more in that video, enough to catch Draymond Green's attention and eventually bring him into the conversation with a response of his own. So first, let's pull up that clip. This is Skip going after Westbrook almost immediately after Russ announced the end of his 18-year NBA career. Then, once the clip is finished, we'll break down exactly what Skip said and why it got Draymond to respond. Westbrook's retirement was officially announced on August 12th, after a career that included an MVP, 9 All-Star selections, and the NBA's all-time triple-double record. And if you're enjoying the video so far, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me. It really helps support the channel, and I genuinely appreciate every single one of you who takes the time to do it.
I began to realize that over time, Russ's high volume turnover. 4 times Russ led the NBA in turnovers, and 3 times he finished second in the NBA in turnovers, and countless other times he finished very high in turnovers. Horrendous three-point shooter, high turnovers, not my style, not who I want running point for my team, not who I want in my Hall of Fame. Remember that one year LeBron just campaigned, pushed and pulled to get Russ in Los Angeles with he and AD. Remember what happened? Russ shot 30% from 3, and it got so bad at what was then Staples Center that every time Russ went up from 3, it was always awkward looking to me, the entire arena of Laker fans would grow. Oh, no, because they knew what was coming. Clank. I don't know when I started calling him Westbrook. It was somewhere in that period. Maybe it was the end of Oklahoma City. I don't know. Westbrook. And I'm pretty sure I was the first to call him Westbrook because he deserved being called Westbrook because that's what he often shot from 3. LeBron went from gotta get him to please get him out of here and out of my sight. That's how bad he was in the year he went home out here to Los Angeles. He's from Hawthorne, a little south of here, not too far south of where the Lakers used to play. I don't know. I'm sorry. I just don't see it. I understand if you see it, but the bad outweighs the good for me. And in the end, I found him to be an egomaniacal stat machine. Stat focused, stat fixated. I think LeBron saw that also. No doubt, first ballot Hall of Famer. But I leave you with this. He would not be in mine.
So that's just a glimpse of what Skip Bayless had to say. And from what I understand, the full rant went on for roughly 20 minutes. He kept piling on, explaining why he's never been a fan of Russell Westbrook and why, in Skip's personal ranking, Russ doesn't belong in his Hall of Fame. Essentially, he spent the segment breaking down Westbrook's career and arguing against the case for his legacy. But here's what makes the contrast even more interesting. Stephen A. Smith took almost the exact opposite approach. Instead of using Westbrook's retirement as another opportunity for criticism, Stephen A. released a video congratulating Russ and acknowledging his career. And that difference between the two longtime sports personalities is exactly what makes this whole situation so interesting. Westbrook officially announced his retirement on August 12th after 18 seasons, finishing as the NBA's all-time leader in
about Russell Westbrook. I think he was a phenomenal player. I think that he's a first ballot, surefire future Hall of Famer. Most athletic point guard, him and Derrick Rose in NBA history. So walking triple-double for years. There were times he's at 100 miles an hour, and as a point guard, you want him to slow down a little bit, run a team. But the good far outweighed the bad. And I think a lot of times if we don't have affection, quote-unquote affection for people, that denies us the ability to truly appreciate what they bring to the table. That should not be the case with Russell Westbrook. Stepped on the court every night. Never, ever shy with his energy. Never cheated the audience. Never cheated the fans. If he had a jump shot, a consistent jump shot, he might go down as one of the greatest point guards in history. Not to say that he wasn't. He's a Hall of Famer. And
keep everything Skip Bayless said in the back of your mind, because Draymond Green clearly wasn't going to let it go unanswered. He addressed Skip directly, but he didn't stop there. Draymond also took aim at NBA fans as a whole, criticizing the way so many people spent years piling on to Russell Westbrook while he was still competing on the court. And now that Russ has officially retired, Draymond's response puts all of that criticism under a different spotlight. So, let's get into that clip right now.
Oscar Robertson, but Oscar Robertson didn't play in a day and age where basketball was scrutinized. Today, basketball is heavily scrutinized. Players are heavily scrutinized. And so when I say the first, Russell is the first to do it in this era. And obviously the first as far as the ranking. And so he took a beating. Oh man, he's stat padding. He's chasing rebounds. He's, chasing after assists, this, that, and the other. And I'm not here to debate your opinion on whether he was stat padding or not, because I really don't give a damn. What I am here to say is so many people try to stat pad and can't. I don't care who you are. Trying to stat pad the most triple doubles in the history of the NBA, you got to be damn good to stat pad and do that. So whether Russell was stat padding or not, the way y'all try to speak on, whether he was stat padding or not, he did it. He did it. So hard to do. So let's throw the stat padding out the window and just appreciate greatness for what it is. So oftentimes we play in this game day and age, and I looked at once Russ announced his retirement, I started looking through the comments and so much gratitude and oh man. And I would say this, basketball fans, y'all suck. Basketball fans suck. And by the way, I am a basketball fan, so you can throw me in that category too, but basketball fans suck. Because for the last 8 to 10 years, all this guy has heard is how bad he sucks, how he don't shoot it well, how he stat pad, and how he mess up teams. And when you're in this game, and that's all you see, that's all you hear, you power through it, you fight through it because that's who we are, that's what we do. But man, that shit is irritating. And it bothers you. Make no mistake about it. Westbrook and all the things y'all said about him. And the moment he stepped aside, oh man, y'all did Russ wrong. Can't tell me he couldn't be on the team. Wow, how he played the game. Gonna miss him and not in the NBA. All these great, beautiful things. Why we can't feel that when you're gone?
And that's exactly where Draymond Green stood, defending Russell Westbrook against the criticism that's followed him for years. Now, I want to hear from you guys. How do you feel about Russ officially calling it a career? Were you expecting him to come back for another season, or maybe even 2?
And if he had decided to keep playing, where did you think he would end up? Was there a part of you hoping he'd return to Sacramento and re-sign with the Kings? Westbrook reportedly had interest from the Kings before ultimately choosing retirement, so that possibility was very much part of the conversation. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And before you head out, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming.